From the very first day of MGT450, we were shown what success was supposed to look like. The syllabus mapped it out with precision. Master competitive advantage, align organizational culture with strategy, manage change effectively, and above all, lead with diversity, equity, inclusion, and action, DEI and A. Then came Unit 7, where we were challenged to explore the strategic role of human resource management and to analyze how personality traits, attitudes, emotions, and abilities shape team dynamics and influence the work environment. These were positioned as the defining traits of the modern strategic leader. But I didn't just absorb those goals, I repurposed them. Not to dismiss them, but to weaponize them. Because in the real world, especially in the cutthroat terrain of the private sector, strategic HRM isn't about equity. It's about execution. It's not about creating workplaces that win approval. It's about building organizations that win, period. Mission debrief. Flipping the learning outcomes into strategic ammunition. Outcome 1. Competitive advantage, culture, and strategy. The syllabus said to identify how competitive advantage, organizational culture, and structure are connected to strategy and effectiveness. What it didn't say, but should have, is that culture is a luxury, not a business imperative. You want competitive advantage? You get it from velocity, clarity, and execution, not from cupcakes in the break room or DEI-themed email signatures. Culture doesn't cut costs. Culture doesn't increase conversions. Culture doesn't pay invoices, results do. In high-stakes environments, culture is the passenger, strategy is the driver. Me, trading vision boards for victory. Outcome 2, responding to internal and external change. Yes, environmental shifts impact performance. But what happens when you react to social pressure instead of market pressure? Ask Target Corporation. In 2023, their Pride Month campaign, meant to signal virtue, sparked a political backlash and consumer boycotts. By November 2024, their stock had cratered 22%, costing them $15.7 billion in market value. Their mistake? Prioritizing optics over outcomes. That's not how you manage change. That's how you mismanage risk. Outcome 3, strategic planning, equal sign, ruthless prioritization, emotional intelligence, psychological safety, inclusive language. These were presented as pillars of great leadership, and yet, in high-growth environments, the best leaders aren't therapists. They're tacticians. Strategic planning is triage. It's about removing inefficiencies, not accommodating them. Investors don't fund your feelings, they fund your foresight. The softest leaders often make the hardest landings. Also me, because the boardroom isn't group therapy. Outcome 4, analyzing competitive position. Want to see the fastest way to paralyze a startup? Inject overzealous DEI and A mandates into its hiring process. Instead of hiring based on output potential, you start recruiting to fill identity quotas. The result? Performance stalls. Compliance costs rise. Internal tension increases. This isn't diversity of thought. It's dilution of performance. A team built for optics will never outperform a team built for outcome. That one should go on a corporate wall, just not in HR's office. Outcome 5. Change management, DEI and A, and strategic leadership. Real leadership is subtraction. It's saying no to anything that doesn't convert to competitive edge. A positive work environment shouldn't mean we hug underperformance. It should mean we reward winners and exit everyone else. Promoting DEI and A may be noble in theory, but in practice, it often creates an immunity bubble around incompetence. We're told to build inclusive teams, but no one tells us what to do when those teams underdeliver. That's not leadership, that's liability. Case study confirmed, targets $15.70 billion DEI and a misfire. In the real world, inclusivity is not a shield, it's a risk if it's performative. Target's well-intentioned DEI and a branding campaign in 2023 wasn't just a PR move, it became a financial crater. Market sentiment turned, shareholder trust eroded, and the company's reputation took a beating not for being too progressive, but for being strategically naive. Good intentions don't move markets, performance does. Tactical doctrine. How can HRM be a strategic partner? Build HR for war, not wellness. The goal? Create an HR function that's aligned with business objectives, revenue targets, and operational precision, not emotional equilibrium. 1. Hire for competence, not compliance. Expanded principle. Build your workforce around skill sets, not checklists. In too many companies, hiring managers are constrained by DEI quotas, optics-driven hiring goals, or pressure to diversify the pipeline at all costs, even if that means passing up more qualified candidates. What it looks like in practice: 1. Instead of requiring at least X% of hires to meet identity-based criteria. 2. Do this. Use skills-based assessments in your application process. Focus on what candidates can do, not how they identify. Example: Amazon's early hiring model emphasized a bar raiser system. Only candidates who could demonstrably outperform the average employee were selected, regardless of background. This performance-first approach fueled rapid growth and dominance across sectors. Merit isn't just fair, it's efficient. 1. Incentivize execution, not emotion. Expanded principle: stop compensating people for showing up. Compensate them for showing out. HR's compensation and recognition systems should be designed to reward results, not participation or emotional labor. What it looks like in practice: 1. Tie bonuses directly to revenue impact, efficiency gains, or customer acquisition costs, PAC reduction. 2. Use stack rankings or forced distribution curves to eliminate stagnation and reward high performers. Example: Netflix famously follows the mantra, adequate performance gets a generous severance. Their pay-for-performance culture leads to leaner, hungrier teams that drive innovation without dead weight. You don't get rewarded for effort, you get rewarded for impact. 1. Dismantle performative training. Expanded principle: not all training is strategic. Many corporate training programs, especially those focused on sensitivity, unconscious bias, or emotional intelligence, may have PR value but no performance ROI. If it doesn't sharpen the blade, it's dead weight. What it looks like in practice: 1. Audit every training module. If it doesn't correlate to increased productivity, retention of top talent, or enhanced execution, cut it. 2. Replace passive DEI training with decision-making simulations, negotiation drills, or real-time case studies. Example: Google initially offered bias training as part of its DEI efforts, but later shifted toward AI-augmented management simulations when it realized managers retained and applied skills more effectively when training mimicked real business dilemmas. Don't train for applause, train for advantage. 1. Redesign HR as a profit function. Expanded principle: HR should stop being viewed as an overhead cost and start acting like a business partner with a direct line to revenue and operations. That means understanding financial statements, cost per hire, time to productivity, and turnover cost metrics. What it looks like in practice: 1. HR should own a workforce profitability dashboard that tracks metrics like revenue per employee, compensation ROI, and cost of vacancies. 2. HR leaders should meet quarterly with the CFO and COO to align hiring and compensation with real-time business forecasts. Example: Salesforce aligns its HR department with finance and sales to track how quickly new hires close deals or generate client value. This financial alignment ensures HR doesn't just hire people, it builds revenue engines. If your HR lead can't read a balance sheet, you don't have a strategic partner, you have a glorified party planner. Conclusion: HRM as a tactical asset, not a therapeutic presence. To make HRM a true strategic partner, we must strip it of corporate pageantry and arm it with economic precision. It's time to hire for fire, compensate like capitalists, train like warriors, and plan like tacticians. The battlefield isn't emotional, it's economic. And HRM is either your first strike weapon or your first vulnerability. Dual identity clause, public versus private sector. Let me be clear, I believe in DIA in the military. As a senior Army instructor, I've seen how inclusivity strengthens unit cohesion, prevents discrimination, and builds trust across diverse teams. In public service, DEI and A is mission critical, but in private enterprise, I'm not managing a platoon, I'm managing a profit engine. Final salvo: we don't manage emotions, we manage empires. This course set out to create empathetic leaders. Instead, it forged a strategic predator. I didn't misunderstand the assignment, I simply applied it where feelings don't fund payrolls. To quote capitalism's patron saint, greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit. Gordon Gekko, Wall Street, 1987. I came here to learn strategic HR. I'm leaving with a doctrine. Cut deep, execute fast, lead without apology.